Hi, it's Char, and I don't know how many of you guys know this, but I don't watch television. I don't watch any of it. I have one in my house. I'll show it to you real quick. You see that one over there? I got a really big one. But I'm right now streaming Pandora through it. I'll watch some TED Talks and maybe some videos, but I don't watch a whole lot of television. And every once in a while, when there's something going on in the world, stuff will filter through on social media, and I'm able to kind of pick up on it and know something's going on in the world. And I know that there's been a lot of stuff going on lately that has to do with hate and prejudice, and I've kind of been wanting to create a talk about that, and why I think hate and prejudice, after how far we've come as a civilization, why it's peeking its ugly head again. And hopefully I'll share a story with you that connects, and if it does, share this please, because wouldn't it be great if the whole world got this talk? I think that the reason why we hate or we have prejudice or we hurt one another is if you kind of look at life as an ocean, and we're all born into it, and from the moment you become an adult, or I guess from the moment you're even born, well, maybe the moment that you become an adult, you're kind of just dropped to figure out this ocean. And before you know it, you're 10 feet under and you can't breathe, and you're doing everything you can to just swim to the top to get a breath of air. And if up to that point, this was your normal and that's what you saw your parents doing, you're thinking that this is what life is. And that as soon as you get that breath of air and life pushes you back down and you're 10 feet down again, the only thing you can do is think about, oh my God, I have to get back up and I have to get another breath of air. And so you're swimming to the top and you're swimming to the top, and through your swim up to get your breath of air, you might be hitting somebody else in the face with your hand. You might be kicking somebody else in the face with your foot, but you're not really thinking about that in the moment because you're just getting your breath. You're in survival mode and you can't think outside of yourself for that moment. And there are some people, 80% of the world, who is in that struggle of getting their breath, and as soon as they get a breath, they get pushed back down and they're 10 feet down again, and oh my God, they're swimming, they're doing everything they can, and through the process of getting their breath, they're hurting other people. What they don't realize is they're the ones that are pushing themselves 10 feet down. And some people will never realize that. Some people will just get caught in that cycle of you ever see somebody who does something to another person to hurt them or to harm them, and you wonder, why would they do that? Well, they're just in survival mode. They're just trying to get their breath. They don't really even realize what they're doing. They're just out for themselves, and in that moment of we're struggling to get your breath, you can't even really blame them for that. But what happens is when you realize, or maybe you come up for a breath of air and you heard somebody say, you're doing this to yourself, and before you know it, you're doggy paddling and you're not pushing yourself down and you're struggling for breath anymore. And with that doggy paddle, where you might be using some different muscles and you might be doing some different things, you're no longer worrying about getting that breath. And in that process, you're able to kind of take in and look around a little bit more, and you're not so kicking people in the face anymore. You're not hitting people with your hands anymore because you're becoming a little bit more aware and gaining a different perspective, because now, before you know it, you're doggy paddling, you're thinking, I haven't worried about taking a breath for a while, but around you in this ocean, you're still being impacted by all these other people who are. They might come up, take a breath, and they go back down. And you have to learn ways that you can encourage them or get different behaviors from them by perhaps telling your own story. And that's why I do these videos, is to kind of share my own story and gain perspective, hopefully from you, but I know with me. And when you realize that you're in control of all of this, you're in control of pushing yourself down to gain your breath, you're in control of this doggy paddle, and the more you become not just aware of that you're in control, but owning it, before you know it, you're going to be on a boat. And you're in a boat, and when you're in a boat, you have a whole new perspective of where everybody's at and why they're doing what they're doing. And you're no longer here trying to push them down. And you also know that when a person is drowning, you can't swim up to a drowning person. You can try it, and I can tell you early in my life, and especially early in my career of success, I tried to swim up to drowning people to help them, and they took me down with them. But because I had already been through that process, I kind of knew, before I knew it, I'm doggy paddle again, I'm back in my boat again. And what you know is, or what you learn from that perspective is, I can't go and save anyone. All I can do is encourage them and tell them to keep going and that they're doing good and to keep showing up and to keep owning that process, because as soon as you own it completely and you're in your own boat, you're going to be able to go and you're going to be able to help other people. And typically what we find is that hate and prejudice are in the people who are drowning, who are just trying to get a breath of air. And they're so busy in their own survival mode that they're not taking in their impact on other people. You know that old saying, hurting people hurt people. Drowning people try to drown other people. It's that whole catch-22. So when somebody is maybe in your life or trying to hurt you, and you're able to realize it, not get sucked in with it and be in that drowning mode, because at any given time you can come back out of that boat, or you could be doggy paddling and somebody's taking you and pushing you back down 10 feet because they swam over to you and took you down. That can happen at any given time. Remember that you are the one that's in control of how you react, and that hurting people hurt people, and that really, in their hurt, their projection has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with their swim. You know, Martin Luther King, there's 2 quotes I'm going to share with you. Let no man pull you so low as to hate him. And so even when you're in your boat, or maybe you're in your doggy paddle, and that person comes over and pulls you down, who's in the struggle to get their breath, when you gain understanding, okay, understanding doesn't mean that you have buy-in of what they're doing or what their actions are, but you have understanding. Now we can find where true change can happen. Nip says hi. He wants understanding of why he's in the kennel right now. The other quote I wanted to share from Martin Luther King is, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. And so you're not going to make the night less dark by putting more darkness there. You got to turn on a light switch, you got to bring a flashlight. But also, hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. So with all the prejudice and stuff that's going on in the world, and we have 2 sides that are coming together like this, that's not how you get rid of it. The only way you can get rid of it is by love. I know Mother Teresa, you know, she would not come to a war rally, but if you invited her to a peace rally, she'd be the first one there. Because what you focus on expands. And you don't want to expand on the difference. You want to expand on the common denominator, which is that we all need love. And that when you come from understanding, not agreeing, okay, that person that's drowning, I'm not agreeing with that drowning, okay? I understand where they're at because I've been there. And I look back and I think in my own path, what did I need at that moment in order for me to learn to doggy paddle? What did I need? I needed encouragement. I needed somebody to show me that there was something different. So in that moment, that 1 second that I came up above water and I caught my breath and I thought, there's somebody else over there and they're not going down, they're doggy. There's a different way to do this. Sometimes there are children, there are people who are launching into life and they've never seen any other example except that being pushed down 10 feet and that whole struggle of getting your breath again, and how it doesn't matter who you hurt or who you're slapping or who you're kicking. That's been their only example. And so maybe in that moment that they catch their breath and they see you across from them doggy paddle, or maybe even in a boat. They go back down. That seed is planted. They know that there's different. And so from understanding, you're going to be able to plant seeds. And that's truly where you can facilitate change. Hate doesn't drive out hate. Only love can do that. So encourage each other. Find ways to have a tolerance with somebody who is in the middle of drowning. Don't aid in their death. Celebrate each other and celebrate the accomplishments. So when somebody stops pushing themselves down and they are just doggy paddling through life, or maybe even they get that boat, instead of being jealous of each other, instead of putting a target on there and talking bad and getting mad, celebrate in our successes of each other. Because in the end, we are all powerful. Each and every one of us was designed to be different, And in that different is where we find our power. And we're all connected. So you guys, if this message said anything to you, please share it, because you need to go love somebody today, because it's through the love that the hate changes. So not by breeding more hate. That's my take on it. Hope it spoke to you. If it did, or if you have something to say it down below and share this. I can't wait to see the impact this makes on the world, because I'll tell you what, wouldn't the world be great if we were all just kind of coming from understanding to love each other? I'd love to see that. I will see that world. Anyways, you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.